Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new Animal Crossing New Horizons video. Today we are taking a look at some of the coolest glitches and secrets that since launch have been removed from the game. It's a fun one, so without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. So since the launch of Animal Crossing New Horizons over 16 months ago now, we've seen some pretty awesome glitches discovered within the community that often led to unique gameplay. Of course, we're not going to be discussing anything that's considered an exploit or anything that would have damaged the in-game ecosystem, such as duplicating tricks, but instead leaning towards unintended gameplay glitches or bugs that resulted in some pretty interesting outcomes. So if you're excited to learn more about some old glitches and hidden secrets, be sure to leave a like, and here are 5 of the coolest glitches that have since been removed by the Animal Crossing development team. Number 1. Secret Waterfall. So not too far into the launch of Animal Crossing New Horizons, players began experimenting with the island design tools and terraforming more and more complex areas. It wasn't long until some users discovered that if you terraformed a checkerboard grid of small waterfalls along a thin cliff, it was possible to jump through the waterfalls and of course the cliff itself. This led many players to use the in-game bug to create secret areas and secret waterfall entrances that at first looked inaccessible. It was a pretty unique glitch. Unfortunately, this was completely unintended gameplay and was a result from a conflict between the jumping mechanic and collision boxes of the waterfalls, and although it wasn't harmful to the game in any way, it was unintended, a bit unrealistic, and therefore fixed, I believe, in the 1.5 fall update last year. Number 2. Custom trees. Around the summertime last year, the community began seeing a variety of custom trees surface on players' islands. Essentially, these were like fruit trees or money trees, or even the egg trees that we see during the Bunny Day event, but instead of having apples or bell bags, they would feature other items from within the game in their place. The most popular trees seemed to include star fragments or heart crystals, and these items would appear as if the tree had grown them. Of course, this wasn't the case and was a result of the item tree being manipulated with save edits. Now, they were more often than not used as part of the island's theme or design than anything else, so weren't really harmful to the ecosystem because they didn't really add any value to the game. However, trees such as the star fragment tree weren't ever really intended to be a thing, so were quickly removed in the 1.5 update last year, and many dream addresses featuring them were banned or deleted. Number 3. Fences on docks. Now, an in-game bug that went unnoticed for a long time was placing fences on the dock or pier, whatever you prefer to call it, that is located on the beach of the New Horizons island. Under the right conditions that involved placing patterns on your dock first and then building a fence panel on top, it was possible to place fences along the entire length of the dock. You could even place them at different angles. Of course, for a while players used this to their advantage to make their dock stand out from the rest with unique designs. Unfortunately, for some unknown reason, this was actually unintended mechanics and was seemingly removed from the most recent 1.10 update back in April. The official changelog for the update even addressed this, and I quote, "Fixed an issue where the player could build a fence on the pier when standing on top of a custom design placed on the ground." Again, this wasn't harmful to the game in any way, so it has led many people to assume Nintendo are preparing the dock for something in a future update. Number 4. Trees on paths. Moving on, we have another bug involving placing things where they weren't intended to go. At the beginning of the year, it was discovered that under certain conditions you could dig holes and plant trees in pathways that had been laid with the island design tools. It was accidentally discovered that if you lay a path and then preview what a villager's house would look like over the top of the path when moving them, but then deciding not to place it, would result in the game thinking the path didn't exist, which of course allowed the players to dig freely as if it was just grass. This saw many players taking advantage of this unique mechanic to include trees on pathways or even bury items such as fossils in the middle of paths. Naturally, despite it not being harmful to players or affecting the in-game ecosystem, this isn't how the Animal Crossing team imagined paths working, so was removed in the most recent 1.10 update. Number 5. Unobtainable items. Now, similar to how the custom trees became a thing, it wasn't too long into the game's launch that many unobtainable items began surfacing within the community. In short, unobtainable items are items that 100% exist in the game, but are essentially reserved for specific parts of the game or used by certain characters in their particular roles. Some of these unobtainable items include the construction hat that players wear whilst using the Island Design app, the plaza furniture such as the stools from KK Slider's Performance, and even the fence and other items that can be found at Harv's Island and nowhere else in the game. Now, despite these items being found at certain points in the game, they were never intended to be used by the players. However, some of these items were eventually manipulated into the game and openly traded between players for some time. Now again, these don't really harm the ecosystem in any way, but there's an argument to be made that they could affect the story or a player's experience, and given they were never intended to be used outside of their specific places, they were removed in the 1.5 update, and again, many Dream addresses that featured these were banned or deleted. So there we have it, that's 5 rather unique secrets or glitches that Nintendo eventually removed from New Horizons. But what do you think about these? Are you glad to see Nintendo fixing bugs, or would you like the idea of placing fences on docks? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, that pretty much wraps up this video. Of course, I'd like to thank all of the Patreon and channel members for supporting this content and helping me upload as regularly as I do. I couldn't do it without you. As always, if you made it to the end of the video, be sure to leave a like and comment Waterfall just to let me know you did. That would be super awesome. And be sure to include whether or not you think Nintendo are preparing the dock for a future update. I'd love to know. Anyway, until next time, have an amazing day, stay safe, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace.